Live, right? Okay, good deal.
It's coming. It's coming. There we go. Now we're officially live talking about bucks on the wall hunting in northern Maine. I feel like northern Maine is like how hunting was meant to be. Like
It's big woods, man. It's the
that's
thing
tough.
is,
That's
Dan,
tough hunting.
it's big woods, man, and deer can be hard to find.
Oh yeah. You got to
Unlike
really hunt. You're not like it's like if you were muskie fishing versus bluegill fishing, like you got to go hunt for them. You got to go
yeah,
find them.
so we had pieces of property that we hunted for years before it was built up. So we would go there every week. So we kind of knew for that week that was our stand. And my uncle,
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4 years in a row, opening like our first morning there, we roll in on a Sunday hunt first Monday morning. He took a deer Monday morning, like 3 or 4 years in a row, out of the same tree stand.
Like was it just a good spot? Did he have a horseshoe up his ass or was he actually
Well, all of
hunting?
the above. And I think when there's 4 or 5 of us, if you get to your stand first and deer are moving,
Yeah, everybody else is bumping deer to you.
yeah, might have pushed the deer to him. So anyway, good times, good memories. But yeah, I decided, I'm always down for a good cigar and good conversation. So I'm like, we're going out in the garage. Obviously, I'm not going to smoke in the office in the upstairs office. So
Yeah, you made a good decision. You made a good decision. Sounds like a hell of a night for a stogie, though. Hell of a night. We're still.
It's been brutally hot.
Oh man,
105, 106 heat index here in the Carolinas, and it sucks sometimes. Like I got two portable fans rolling here. If you hear them, let me know. I'll kill them. But I got to smoke a cigar with the fan blowing. It's like it's not even enjoyable.
Yeah.
So tonight is like it's the first night in a long time where it's been actually nice.
Yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, I made a last minute decision, punted, and we're out, man. So anyway,
getting out there. It's still 86 right now in Minneapolis. We've been like hitting 90 every day, and it's just. And of course, yesterday I was in Michigan yesterday speaking at a landscape lighting convention for a franchise, and did that thing where you stay up till 12:30 because you're hanging with the people, and you're like, I want to. It's also like where I probably get the most sales is building those relationships, and everybody went out to the bar, and so I'm like, I can go out to a bar, but I also had to get up at 4:30, but then I had to fly back to Central Time. So it's really like I got up at 3:30 after 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. And yesterday when I was on stage speaking, like my watch is buzzing. I can see somebody's calling. I didn't know what it was. Obviously ignored it, but it distracted me while I was up on stage. And I got out and it was my furnace people or my AC, my HVAC people. They were at my house to do like the maintenance program.
Right.
And the maintenance wasn't going well. And so they had to shut everything down. And basically we're like, yeah, I mean, we could fix it for a few grand or just for like $6 or $7 just get a brand new one. And it's 21 years old. Like you're kind of due for a new one. And I was like, well, yeah, we're doing the new one. When can we get it? Because then I'm like flying back today.
Right.
I have to leave again tomorrow, but I'm like, I got all day. I got back to my office by 8:30 a.m. because of the time warp going from Eastern back to Central.
Right.
And I just sat here in the house in like 85 degrees and sticky sweat. And I was just like, it was of after 4 hours of sleep and getting up at 3:30. So my beverage of choice tonight, while you're having your stogie, I'm having a whiskey and Coke.
I hear you. Like I again, I don't do a lot of alcohol. I only drink alcohol for flavor anyway. It's always sometimes good with a good cigar, but the cigar at least I got. I didn't have time to pour a drink, or else I would have ran in and poured one over the rocks myself. I'm a sweet guy, so like apple crown, caramel crown, like
the peach crown is good. Have you had the peach crown?
Yes, deadly.
Yeah.
And listen, I know we got people are gonna hate when I say this, but here's a good drink, and then we'll talk business. I don't know. So we have a local soda, or in your pop, right? You call it pop up your way.
I'm flexible. I'm flexible.
Right. Well, I know
I'm not from Atlanta, so I don't call it Coke because I think that's dumb.
Everything's Coke in Atlanta, right? No, I'm a hillbilly at heart. I'll tell you that story in a minute, but born in New England. So it's soda. My folks out west, it's pop. Anyway, we have a local soda, pop, whatever. And they do a cherry lime soda. So you do this cherry lime soda with a shot or two of Fireball in it.
Really?
It's friggin' deadly.
Huh? A little
Now,
cinnamon in there.
I don't drink. Here's something like, I'll just be very transparent. I've never been drunk in my life.
Congrats.
I'm just by choice. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even in high school, I'm like, no, I'm good. Like if I have a drink, it wasn't a vice of mine.
Yeah.
But that is very deadly. So I watch myself with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would join you, but listen, you got the alcohol, I got the cigar. We'll have great time.
Yeah, we got it all covered. We got all the bases covered.
So what have you been up? Listen, what have you been up to, bro? Like,
right? I was gonna ask you the same. While I'm trying to do the thing on. I had my radio show earlier today, and we had Angela and JC were on. They're like getting back from a month overseas. They just met in Boston. Michael Gregory was on. He says, "What's up?" Trevor Steele jumped in. Chad Murray, his business coach from the chimney industry, jumped in. And so my topic for the day was like acknowledging all the successes we've had so far for the year, because so often as business owners, we're like always thinking about what's in front of us. We don't do that thing where we like acknowledge that we've covered a lot of ground. And so we're Best Damn Bookkeeping is a month short of 3 years, and we're up to 26 people on the team and 1.5 million run rate. And it's like faster than I could have expected to grow a business.
Right.
It helps that it's my second time building a bookkeeping business. But it's flying, and man, that's a lot of training and a lot of money spent on training. Well, but we're profitable, not as profitable as I'd like to be, but it's all an investment. We're coming.
Well, let me again. This isn't a commercial. I don't get paid jack. I will tell. Like, I've had people call me, "Hey, you want to be an affiliate? You refer people." I will not take a nickel from anyone for.
I know. I tried. You send people my way, and I was like, "Hey, Matt, I'd like to say thanks with some dollars," and you're like, "No."
Yeah, I don't do that. Now, if you ever drop me a cigar or two in the mail, like, fine, but I will not take money. I have people throw money at me because, again, I'm coaching clients, hundreds of clients, and across the year. But I send people your way simply this. Just like it's hard to find good HVAC vendors, contractors, plumbers, electricians, marketers, right? That's why I like Michael Gregory. He's an OG, like 2019. I love that guy. But I send people your way, Dan, because I know you're going to treat them right and shoot them straight. Now, I know you're not touching every single book now. It's just impossible for you to do that. But I do know this. If my folks have a problem, you're going to solve it, just like Vanilla Ice, right? Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Okay, old school people got that one, right? But you're going to take care of it. And that's what I care about. When I send people your way, you're going to be like, okay, maybe we messed up. Maybe we didn't add something. Maybe we all make mistakes, but you're stand up.
Yeah.
And your success is because you're the guy in front of the camera, on the stage, behind the screen, working with your clients. I've known you for years, and I value that you're trustworthy. And I just want to give you props. And yes, acknowledging your success is simply because you're a stand-up guy. And on behalf of the folks that you work with and don't get a chance to tell you, I want to tell you thanks for being a stand-up guy and someone we can trust in the home service industry to shoot us straight.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I had Keith Kalfas, which Van Green Lawn Care checking in, just said, "Hey Dan, seen you on videos with Keith. Thanks for joining." We're dabbling with Canadian businesses. As a matter of fact, I have a demo with somebody in 2 weeks in Canada. And I've helped Canadian businesses, but the accounting rules are different and the tax rules are different. So we have one gal on our team that has some expertise in it. So
yeah,
we're thinking of taking it on. Obviously, we won't unless we can do a kick-ass job, because it's just not worth.
Yeah, I have a number of Canadian clients, and it's unique. It is definitely unique. But again, at the end of the day, right? Money's money. We're trying to watch COGS, expenses, get to that bottom line, run a healthy net profit.
Scotty chimed in. He's blowing my head up. He says Dan's a great effing guy. I think it's just because I came out fishing with him and taught him how to catch some walleyes.
Hey, listen, bro, whatever.
Taught him actually. Maybe I didn't teach him how to catch them. I think I taught him how to tie his hook back on because I lost 78 hooks that day.
Right.
So I think he was just proud of that.
Right. So you go fishing with a guy, you'll learn a lot about him. Right.
This is true.
You learn a lot about a guy. You hunt with them, you fish with them, you golf with them. Kind of character that they are, how they handle adversity, how they handle the elements, how they handle impatience.
Yeah.
You learn a lot being out with folks like that. So obviously you got some folks in your corner, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I hunt and fish a lot. So
I know that.
People get to know me pretty well.
No, that's good, man. It's good.
Next week, Mexico, chasing yellowtails.
Are you?
Yeah. Jeremy Jennings, Joe Deveneaux, Trevor Steele, a few other business dudes. I think there's like 24 spots in I'll say the lodge, if you will.
Right.
And we got 12 of them are all like part of the Jeremy Jennings.
Oh, that's fun, man. That's a good time. I'm going on a cruise next week. Family, not quite as fun.
No, that's still awesome. Still awesome. Still awesome. But what the heck you been up to? I know my relationship with you is built in Conquer and going to Sales Boost and different conventions and stuff like that. I still, even on the radio show today, obviously knowing that you were coming on, I was telling everybody when you informed me, and I still like quote this today, we were at Sales Boost. God, where was Pat at? Spartanburg?
Might have been Spartanburg.
Okay. Well, we're down like I think it was the last year that Pat ran it before Angela and JC took it over for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and I was like, yeah, we got the family, and this is like talking about my team, and you're like, you don't have a family. Families are dysfunctional. You need to build a high performing team. And that has stuck with me forever. And it's a thing. There's like quotes and stuff that always stay in the back of your mind and kind of remind you when you think you're doing something stupid, and then like old football coaches like are in your head. There's Matt Clark in my head every time I'm thinking about like how am I leading this team and what do we stand for and how are we holding people accountable? And then there's just Matt Clark like sitting on my shoulder. This is a high performing team. This isn't a dysfunctional family. We don't need to keep everybody here. We need A players here. And I would say that approach to best damn bookkeeping is what has made us really good at bookkeeping. Is we don't have any B players. They don't last. They're gone so fast.
And that's because you're building a good culture. And my background, you learn this pretty quickly. 15 years in NASCAR, building high performance pit crews, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, tenths of a second, 100th of a second. You fly home every Sunday night knowing your job's on the line or you got to fire someone on Monday. I grew up in a family business, third generation contractor. So I get it. And at the end of the day, Grigory does the same thing for me. But Michael is just like, you have to make non-emotional decisions. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to that, we can't fire our family. Now, we could let them go out of our business. We're going to still see them at Thanksgiving. We're going to still see them at Christmas. We're still going to know it's their birthday. And it's always, most of the time, it's going to be sour. Again, I don't want to go deep down on this, but it's typically about unmet, unrealized, or unspoken expectations.
Oh, yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard to draw the line with family.
Right. And I get to say things to my family that I wouldn't say to an employee or a peer. So when I coach the folks that I work with, they're like, I want to build a family, this family. I'm like, listen, here's a couple things here. Everyone's relationship to family is different. I come from a really solid, tight family. Perfect? No. Other folks come from highly dysfunctional families where it's like, dude, like, I don't want family. My view of family is jaded. Yeah. But a high performance team, it's like, okay, everyone has a role.
Doesn't matter what your family's like.
Is that you have a responsibility, you carry out, you execute, and then we benchmark you. And it's like, listen, it's not personal. But if we're growing the business, some folks take us to here, those folks don't always take us to there. Mm-hmm. And that's just part of life. And again, so I love that you kind of hung on to that, but that is an axiom that I'm constantly preaching to the folks that I work with, because here, right at the core of it, you said it. People want to have a strong culture, a culture that they love showing up to, working with people that they like working with, trusting people that they work with, knowing that, hey, they're towing their weight, I'm towing my weight, we're all pushing in the same direction. So they're like, oh, that's family. It's family in spots.
Yeah.
Well, family's not always like that, right? I mean, it's just not. But a high performance team is, look, common goal, common uniform, like we're chasing the same thing. You're on the bus or you're off the bus. It's that simple.
Yeah. It can be, I would say at times it's like more rewarding than family in a way, because you can achieve things and take it to places that you can't always do with family.
100%.
You don't, like, you lead a family in a sort of way, but you're also always compromising, like always compromising, because you can't fire them. Like, you always have to compromise, and it's messy and you got to figure it out. And there's a lot of that in business, but it's different because at some point you don't compromise, you fire people because they're not following the culture, they're not building the culture, they're not exemplifying the core values, they're not executing their job and producing what they need to produce.
Right. What we're doing actually is we're releasing them to their destiny, or we're putting them out of our misery.
Yeah.
Right?
And like, hopefully if they suck here, like they wouldn't. I had a goofy one where a gal that worked for us had been with us for like 2 years and had been, I won't say the best person on our team, but was like a trainer for us and had a lot of potential, and then just started kind of, well, finger pointing a lot. And that was the sign to me. I was like, that every time I was gone for a couple weeks to conventions or wherever,
right,
I'd get back and the culture was always eroded.
Right.
And so I was like, where's it coming from? And then it was really clear she kept finger pointing at everything. But every time we'd look at her results, she was also messing up a lot. She just wasn't owning it. We started doing a self-reporting thing. You could report other people for errors, but I informed everybody my expectation was that you self-report more than you report other people. She had the most reports logged, never once self-reported. And then I was like, you're gone. You just can't be here. Like, it's not, there's somewhere else for you to be that's probably better for you, but I know it ain't here. Like, You're not happy. You're miserable. Get the hell out of here.
And it just, listen, we want to build culture and we want to build a place where people want to stay. And sometimes high performers don't want to stay when they're feeling like no one else is working as hard as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we have to be careful of the superstar, like, hey, the company doesn't do anything except because of me. Like, I'm the man, I'm the woman, I'm the person. Well, dude, you know what? Here's what I learned. I learned this the hard way in a very emotional way, working on the race team for Hendrick Motorsports. Some of the folks may realize this, but we would fly, like Mr. Hendrick has his own plane, like own aviation department. So every racetrack, we go to private FBO, fly to every racetrack, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Hendrick Motorsports experienced a plane crash in which Mr. H, who is the owner of the race team, Mr. Hendrick, owns all the Hendrick dealerships, wonderful guy, lost his son, his brother, 2 nieces, the head lead engine builder, the GM of the company, the marketing director for, I believe it was DuPont Motorsports at the time, and one of Tony Stewart's pilots. Okay.
Oh my God.
In a plane crash. It was in Martinsville, all over the news. We had to race that very next week. That happened on a Sunday morning. We won Martinsville, West Virginia. We had to be in Atlanta the next week. So buried people during the week, services during the week, showed up to the track, won in Atlanta with Jimmy Johnson. What it taught me is this, in a very emotional way, is that we are all replaceable. And when people get this, like, this company doesn't run without me, it's like, no, man, listen, like a little humility mixed in, like, you're important, but you're a cog. And I don't say that in a negative way, like people talk about, I'm just a cog in the big wheel. But you are just a cog. We're all part of the engine that makes it go. And that was just such a surreal experience that I lived out personally, and the folks that worked at Hendrick Motorsports, and we still, celebrate the passing of wonderful lives when the anniversary comes up. But it was just a stark reminder, man. We're all replaceable. We're all replaceable.
I see so many times, and I'm sure you've seen this 10 times more than I have, where business owners will self-sabotage and intentionally, and I'm probably guilty of this in certain circumstances where they like build it so much around them to make sure it can't work without them. And they like handcuff themselves to the business because they don't trust anybody else to do it and like admit that they're replaceable. They won't build it.
Yeah. So I've seen that. And here's what happens when they do that. I've had a couple conversations where folks have got to the point where they step out of their business and they're like, what do I do now? I'm only in the business 4 to 5 hours. No one needs me. And that business that was your identity, the thing that you just worked 70, 80 hours a week, 6, 7 days a week, now is running well without you. It's like, what do I do? And it's like,
yeah,
all right, what else do you want to do? Like, you got it where you wanted to be. Here's the other type of owner. I work with this type of owner. Financial technology. I was a chief marketing officer. We had about 30 salespeople in the Southeast. Did HR. So small operation, kind of decent revenue, a lot of responsibility. He and his wife ran the company. If it got too smooth, they had to make chaos.
Like just absolutely unintentionally, I assume. They just
well, in their mind, like, we got to fix this, we got to do that. But really, when I look at it, is they could only operate and function in chaos.
Yeah.
And sometimes folks, I'm not a therapist, all right, although I stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night.
There you go.
They were born and raised in chaos. So that's all they know. When there's not chaos, their body, their mind feels off.
Yeah.
So if people
you got to stir some shit up, you got to make some changes that don't
exactly. And then they're just like, we're shaking it up, chaos. People are pissed. And it's like, you're sabotaging the company because now you're running your trauma through everyone, not just yourself and your wife. And you know, I was responsible for building culture. And like, I had to, and it was a good culture until it wasn't. And then people are like, dude, what is up with this place? I'm like, bro, hang in there. We're working on it. They're like, we love the people that are working here, but my goodness, man, they are creating such chaos. I don't want to be here. So anyway, all types of owners. And yeah, I get it, man. We're just always sometimes our worst enemy, but kind of to land the plane on this whole conversation, right? We do need to celebrate the wins. Mm-hmm. And as high performers, we look at where we failed, what we're not doing. I call it entrepreneurial guilt.
Oh, yeah. Right? You always feel like there's something more you should be doing right now, something more you should have done yesterday, something that you can't postpone another minute because you're going to let somebody down.
Right. And
carry a weird burden.
Why then? That's the reason why, like, entrepreneurs are mentally unhealthy, facing divorce. Not everyone. And again, there's a lot of great people. I'm just saying, because the stress is so high and the stakes are so high, you're like, I got to pay people's salary. I've got this vendor to pay for. I'm under contract for this. I just financed, 4 years on a $80,000 vehicle. I just bought $100,000 worth of equipment. I'm opening up a new business, right? So there's all this stress and we have to figure out how we manage that stress, keep a positive outlook, but keep driving forward, because a true high performer, a driven high performer is, relentless and they're never finished, right? So we have to manage that never finished mentality, never done mentality with, like, where does it cross the line of being absolutely obsessive and destructive?
Yeah,
that's why I smoke cigars. It's the one thing that really makes me slow down and be present.
Yeah, I think that's why I usually have a drink at night. It's like, it's my gift to myself. Like, hey, you worked your ass off all day,
right?
And now let's turn it off. I usually watch some hunting or fishing on TV. My wife laughs at me. Some people read books. I'm like, books make me think. I don't want to think. I want to be where I'm in, like, my happy place where I'm totally checked out. The work will be there tomorrow. I will obsess about it again tomorrow. But right now I need a hard 6 hours of sleep. Right. And I can't, like, be waking up at 2 a.m. with 12 thoughts on my mind. So I've got my little system of like the gratefuls at the end of the day, and being appreciative of everything we build and everything we have a beer. Usually I mix in some peanuts or some pretzels, get a little snack.
There we go.
Little late night snack to it's like a ritual. Like tells my body like you've done enough today, Dan.
Right.
So I'll do that after we get done with the show. In fact, do that.
Nice.
So what the hell's going on with you, Matt? What like you were doing Conquer stuff? When did you leave Conquer? I don't, as far as I know, Conquer doesn't even exist anymore.
I don't know like every single detail. I started working with Conquer, Brandon Vaughn, and I got to give him thanks for giving me an opportunity, along with Kedma O, Michael Grigory, Patrick Clark. Honestly, is the one who went to Brandon and said, "Hey, because Pat was with kind of the OG crew that helped start Conquer with Brandon."
Yeah.
Brandon's like, "Hey, I've heard you speak at events and stuff. I'm just hiring a new director of coaching, Kedma. You meet with her. She likes you. You're cool. If not, like, I'm out of the hiring." Right. So he let Kevin do it. So I started in 2019, and I've been with him ever since. So Conquer was folded into House Call Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Brandon made an exit there. Still working, with House Call Pro as an independent coach there. There's a cadre of coaches that are working there. Some of the OG, I think I'm the OGist. Kedman and I are the two remaining. Michael Grigory just recently, I think his last pro said, "Hey, you've got me out of the nest. I'm good." And Michael's like, "Okay." And Michael's like, he is wide open bandwidth, so he's like, it worked out. So that's what I'm doing on the coaching side. I just relaunched.
How many, and it's through House Call Pro. How many business owners are you coaching nowadays?
I'm probably sitting weekly 25 to 30.
Is it one-on-one or group or a little bit of both?
I'm doing a few one-on-ones and group.
Cool.
Yep. So I'm doing that. I've coached before I started House Call Pro, right? So I have a small group that, was before House Call Pro, going way back. So there's that. I've also, I speak. I enjoy speaking from the platform. I've taken a couple years off. So over the last 2 months, I'm rebranding, so to speak, the speaking lane of my business, right? Event planners, platforms, conventions, larger conventions, in the blue collar space, not necessarily home service, but in the blue collar space. So that's been a big deal, revamping the website. Just sat with my designer on Friday. Took me forever to rewrite all the copy, writing it. So an event planner, when they read it, it's outcome based, right? As opposed to, "Hey, this is Matt. He did this, this, and this. Okay, cool. What are you going to do for me?" So again, I'm in a coaching program myself with a Hall of Fame speaking coach, right? So I believe in the power of coaching and masterminds.
Heck yeah.
So I'm doing that. And then what I launched here, what my passion project is Fast Car Cigar.
Yeah, I see it I see you're wearing a shirt. I see it in the title.
I'm rocking the gear
going on.
All right. So we got a couple minutes. So I'll tell you how it started. So I was in another mastermind. We met kind of all over the nation, about 10, 12, through a marketing guy, had 4 or 5 groups. We'd meet, whatever. So I was in a group of about 10 to 12 of a mastermind group. And one of the members of that group, a guy named Steve Reeder out of Denver, Colorado, was in the group. We hit it off. In fact, I think we stayed together in one hotel, at one of the events. And he's a cigar smoker. And the first time he's like, "Matt, man, have you ever smoked cigars?" I'm like, "No, dude, I've never smoked anything in my life. I just had no desire. I'm not, I don't like cigarettes, whatever." He goes, "You need to try a cigar." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So
how long ago is this?
This is going back 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
All right. And then we go to another event in Nashville. Nashville has a fairly famous cigar lounge called the Red Booth the Red Booth Cigar Lounge. You get in, you go through a phone booth. There's a code, it's members only. There's no front door. You go through the phone booth, you go into the lounge. You have to be a member, they let you in, right? So a member brought us in.
Yeah. It's a cool spot. I've seen it. Like kind of kitty corner of the standard down there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I went in there, smoked my first cigar, and basically fell in love with it. Not so much about tobacco and smoke, but about community and camaraderie and slowing down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is cool. So I kind of like bought some cigars and, started what I would do to practice, because I've never smoked cigars, is when I meal prepped on Sunday, we cooked outside. I take a cigar, I cut it, I light it, I'd figure out, hey, I'd smoke it. Am I doing it right? So I'm just practicing. So when I'm hanging out with the dudes, like I don't look like a total noob.
Yeah.
Right. So I let me grab this here. So Doug Myers, Doug and Michelle started Pink Colors.
Yeah.
Right. Doug's a cigar smoker.
Doug does like a cigar.
He's a good dude. Right. So I'm out one Sunday afternoon and I don't have an ashtray. So I'm like, I need an ashtray. So I run into my son's room, he's a race fan. I have a bunch of race memorabilia over the years, 15 years of NASCAR. I grab a piston head off the shelf. The piston had come out of a race truck motor that I had, signed by one of the drivers. So I throw my cigar on it. It's my ashtray.
It's a good ashtray.
I snap a picture to Doug. Doug freaks out. Doug's like, bro, I want one right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, that is sick, man. I'm like, what are you? He's like, bro, like I want one, but like, give me one. Okay. Right. So the entrepreneur, he's like, that following Monday, I went down to the used parts shop and I just started getting all of these parts that could potentially be ashtrays. And I just kind of mock them up, send the photos to him. And he's like, this is crazy. So that was the idea. It was birthed there. Then it went dormant. I'm like, because again, right.
You got the idea, but execution's the son of a bitch,
Right. And I think a lot of us entrepreneurs, at least I'm an idea monkey. Yeah. So I have a notebook full of like, I'm going to monetize this. I'm going to monetize that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell that. Right. So it kind of sat dormant. I almost let the domain expire. And I was just like, about 2 years ago, I'm like, I talked to my wife, and this is the one idea my wife has ever said, you got to do it.
Well, now you feel guilty if you don't.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I went all in, got the branding done. Fast Car Cigar is a registered trademark, the whole deal. I got my CNC guy. What we do is manufacture we take upcycled race car parts and convert them into cigar ashtrays.
That's badass.
So then, what I've got, like, this is a CNC tray with a carbon insert. So the piston head will sit in the tray.
Hell yeah.
Accessories go here, little ashtray there. We did a soft launch in the spring, very soft, but it's live. I've got, Fast Car Cigar, carbon insert, mini tray. Like,
you got a cutter. You got a fast car cutter.
I don't have a cutter yet. I will get accessories.
What was that thing you just showed me? What was that thing?
Okay, this is a connecting rod here. Okay, this is a connecting rod that I'll put a bottom on, right? But this will also be an ashtray. So the cigar will sit right on top of the connecting rod.
Okay.
Right. It's etched with Fast Car Cigar. I've also, to the folks who kind of came in with me, I sent them a personalized connecting rod, laser etched, because I got a laser engraver in the shop. So this is my passion project. I've got, dude, when I tell you, I've got tens of thousands of dollars in used car parts.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good recycling program. You're environmentally friendly. There's got to be some certification for that. People dig that.
No, so I just go to the used part shops, which again, we're NASCAR country. So that's normal here. Auctions. I've got intake manifolds. I've got carburetors, throttle bodies, ring gears, coil springs, like you name it, that will be ashtrays eventually.
It's so funny to me because you've been around that shit for years and years and years, and you always looked at it a certain way, and then one day everything changed. Now every car part you see, you're like, can I make
every car part? I'm like, how can I make that into an ashtray? And again, it comes down to Doug Myers, who was like, geeking about it because, again, so I was in the space for 15 years. So when you know how the sausage is made, you don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like my time in NASCAR, I'm blessed. I sometimes undersell it. And then my wife would be like, dude, you won 5 championships, you won 70 races, you did all this stuff. You're on Fox Sports 1 TV. But I'm like, I feel like I've accomplished nothing when I look at, like, heck, I meet with Michael Gregory every 2 weeks. We do a 30-minute catch-up call every 2 weeks. And he opens up one of his software programs and just melts my face. I'm like, dude, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's how Fast Car got born. And we're really, I wouldn't say we're uber faith centric with it, but it is rooted in a little bit of like my faith. And my goal is to get men to pause, reflect, and connect. Hey, right?
Danny's in the house.
Hey, Danny.
What are you doing here? You're all tangled up. Got too many cords over here.
Here we go.
Aren't you supposed to be sleeping, kiddo?
Yeah, but you're talking too loud, Dad. But yeah, my goal, Dan, is to get folks to slow down, to pause, reflect, and connect.
Yeah.
And, you know, my core values, I wrote my core values around, you know, the word cigar. We create to connect, inspire with intentionality, give from gratitude, accelerate with accountability, and respect the ritual.
I love it.
Right? So
I'm a sucker for an acronym. Kedma and I worked a long time on my core values in my old business and gave me that framework of like getting the acronym right. A, it's memorable, easier for you to remember too when you're like talking about it with the team. But she helped me rewrite all of mine in my old business, and now our acronym is BEST. We got blessed, efficient, steadfast, trustworthy.
100%. That's you.
It is. It's like good attitude, kick ass, doing hard work, tons of grit, and tons of integrity. Go.
I love it. So for me, it's been a lot of fun, and I've had a few folks that I work with actually buy the product, and it's full circle coaching because I'm creating experience. All the boxes are done right. The inserts, I leave behind with our core values, a note from the founder, QR code, stickers. Sometimes, again, I'll send someone a cigar out of my own humidor. You know, it's like next level. I want them to be like, this was an amazing experience working with this company. Hi, Danny.
Hi.
How old are you?
10.
You gotta get closer to the microphone when you talk.
I'm 10.
Okay. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A baker.
A baker?
Like you want to bake at a bakery, or you gonna own your own bakery?
I'm gonna own my own bakery.
Okay.
You gotta read the E-Myth Revisited.
There we go. Will you please make cinnamon rolls? Cinnamon rolls are my favorite
Okay.
all time.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll make them some. We'll send them a cinnamon roll with a cigar in it. Maybe. So here, Chad Murray, who jumps on my radio show every once in a while. He coaches. He also coaches, but he had a chimney sweep business for a long time. His little side hustle is Stogie Dip. He created I assume it's like a powder that you dip the end of your cigar in, and so when you take a pull on it, you get that flavor in your pull. And so like it just lasts a little bit, and then it burns off, and you can dip it again when you knock your ashes off. Maybe we need a cinnamon roll dip. That sounds like
100%. So there are infused cigars. This happens to be an infused cigar which has a little bit of cherry chocolate to it. Then there's, straight, non-infused. And again, it's like anything, right? I watch some of these Facebook groups, like infused cigars suck. Once you grow up, like you smoke real cigars. And I'm like, bro, here's the thing. Smoke what you like.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. Like, don't be a snob.
It's
just smoke what you like, and let's have a good conversation. That's all I care about. And what's interesting about the cigar space, most of the times you can be in a cigar lounge or somewhere else, and you could be talking to a millionaire, a billionaire, a tycoon, A guy who works for waste management, busting his butt every single day. You don't know that, man. We're just talking life, family, what's good in your world. There's no political crap. There's no,
There's
it's
no
like
judgment.
there's no judgment, man. We're just like enjoying the company of being humans, enjoying a good cigar and appreciating that we're able to slow down and have a great conversation. That's what I love about smoking cigars.
In a way, the way you're describing it reminds me of hunting, because there's so
100%.
many blowhards that are like, that's not hunting. If you shoot them with the gun, you got to go in there and do this. Oh, you put food plots. It's not hunting unless you go to the most remote public land and kill it with a spear, right? It's like, no, hunting is like, I was gonna draw a big I don't know how many variables I'd put into it, but one of those like diagrams where it's got all the different axes and like the everything within that is hunting, right? You could be on a private fenced in ranch shooting a freaking bazooka at a mouse, still hunting. Like there's the variable of like, what type of land are you on? Are you on a fenced in property? Are you on just private property? Are you on public property? There's what type of weapon are you using? Are you using bait, right? And the same applies to fishing too. It's like there's all these spectrums, but to try to argue that one is more hunting than the other, it's like, hunt the way you want to hunt. Why the hell would you give a shit about how somebody else is enjoying their time and like recreating? Just be glad that they're hunting instead of trying to stop you from hunting, because there's plenty of people trying to stop you from hunting. So maybe you should stop worrying about the guy that hunts his way instead of your way. Worry about the people that are trying to stop both y'all from hunting.
100%, right? So I grew up doing all of it, right? So I grew up where we were on virgin land, like big woods in Maine. Like there was like, right? I've hunted small properties in Connecticut where it's a lot less land. I tell you what I'd love to do, right? The helo hog hunting.
Oh yeah, I would want to go in a helicopter and rip some hogs.
I mean, people are like, that's bad. That's this. I'm like, listen, man.
We're gonna kill them all one way or the other. We might as well have some fun while we do it. We got to go get them.
It's like customers, though, right? Oh, I love that day. You're just never gonna please them all, and that's part of human nature. And I think what we have to kind of realize is, and I had this conversation today with a couple of my groups, is like understanding your value in the marketplace, aligning with the clients that you want to work with. You get to a point when you first bootstrap, like you do whatever you can.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh, you have money and you want to pay me to do something I've never done before? Yeah, I'll figure it out. Let's do it.
Right. But then you get to a point where you're like, I see red flags. I'm not starving. I don't need the headache. I don't need the hassle of what I feel the vibe coming down the pike is. So, hey, we're just not a good fit. Move on. And that's empowering. When my pros are like, I fired one of my clients. I'm like, awesome. Yeah. Who's next?
I bet your team all wants to give you a hug. If you fired them, you probably waited too long. It's like firing employees. You only regret how long you waited.
All right, that's a whole nother conversation. Because every time one of my pros fires someone, I'm like, when you fired them, how many people came up to you and said, man, what took you so long? Or why didn't you do it sooner? And they're like, a number of them did. I'm like, okay, how do we build a relationship, right? Let's go back to the high performance team for a minute. How do we build a relationship where we make it where people don't feel like they're ratting out someone, but they're holding someone accountable to say, listen, this person is a good person. I know that they need to provide for their family. I just don't know if they're a good fit for our team because they're not carrying their own weight. Mm-hmm. And you get a heads up on that. Like, hey, I see him punching out early. Like, we've all done some things every once in a while. So, like, don't hate me. But, like, it's chronic. He's logging in early, checking in early, or he's doing this or this shortcut. They're way ahead of that. Your employees knew before you that this person should be fired.
Yep.
And you tolerate them.
Yeah. I had an old business partner once tell me, like, the minute you've thought about it,
done.
it's pretty much decided. Like, there's never been a time where you've thought about firing somebody and then you didn't eventually fire them. So really the only deal is how long do you wait and how much shit goes wrong between now and then.
Well,
like, that's it. Like you said, everybody's replaceable. Like, they're all replaceable. You just got to do some recruiting. And
always be recruiting, right? So I have this conversation a lot, right? Because I in my industry, right, if we get to the middle of the year and somebody's struggling and I don't have someone on the bench, we're talking about NASCAR pit crews, we're talking about well-paid professional athletes under contract, right? Like, we don't have we have a minor league system, but it's awful hard for someone who hasn't done it at the highest level to come in and run up front, leading a race, do pit stops for 4 or 5 times in a row, hold position, win races. Like, you grow into that. You don't just typically jump into that, right? Yeah. So again, it's like the big leagues in any sport. Like, very few rookies can come in and own it. So when we get those folks, it's like what I call a dead man walking. Like, that person is like, okay, when I get the opportunity, I'm going to replace you. And this is what I tell the folks that I work with. Like, I always want you to be in control when people come in to your company and when people leave your company. Now, obviously, we control the in because we hire.
Yep.
But we want to control when they leave. And there have been times in which I've had good people that just weren't at the level of everyone else, but I had to make them work until I could find someone under contract for the next season, or someone that may have got released or a team shut down or something that I could replace them with.
Yep.
I'm not going to spite myself always and say, well, I'm just going to fire them. Okay, you fire them. Now, there are times, side note, there are times it's almost better for you to fire them and you go back on the truck for a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, if it's like a cultural drama.
Oh, dude, you got to get if they're disrespectful, they lie, they steal, they fight. Like, dude, like, I have no tolerance for that.
Yep, we'll figure it out. All hands on deck.
Yeah, it's like, and again, any pro could go back and work on the truck for a week or two and prove to the guys, gals that they can still do it. But then there are those that are just like, I had this conversation this week. We're going through their P&L and we're trying to figure out, is service side their HVAC, their install side is jam up. Are we making money on the service side? We're looking at it tech by tech. We're looking at the revenue generated per hour, how many calls that they've done, right? So we're looking at like close rates, upsells, and really the bottom line, this owner was like, I said, listen, I want to get the data. I don't want this to be anecdotal, but anecdotally,
you can't preface it with, I feel like.
Right. But she's pretty much spot on. The tickets that are coming in, I said, let's compare average tickets. So let's get an average ticket number. And she's like, well, it's the same or as high as the other guy. I'm like, okay, but we got to quantify that data. In that data, did he maybe do 1 or 2 bigger jobs that bumped his average ticket up, right?
Bye, Dad.
Rather than, bye, Danny. Rather than like, okay, selling a $90 capacitor, doing this, and he's just a good guy that's just not right for the company's growth.
Yeah.
So he's on the chopping block. The poor guy doesn't know it. He's a nice guy, but he's just not getting it, and he won't upsell. He won't, like, and it's not even an upsell. And for some folks, they feel that's dirty. For some other folks, it's like it's part of the game.
Yeah.
The point is this: you got to tell me, let me decide as the client. Do I want to replace that compressor now for $1,500-$1,800, or do I want to wait till it's 105 heat index and it fails? Because it's going to fail here in the next 6 to 8. Exactly right there, right?
This guy.
Now, as contractors, we typically wait because we're like, dude, I'm playing the waiting game. I know it. I'm not getting upsold. No one's closing me. I'm smarter than the salespeople. So that's us because we know how it's made. But at the end of the day, he's not going to make it. And we have to have the right people in the right seat to move the businesses forward.
Totally. I gotta hit this one. Darlene, you made it. You're in the right spot. Congratulations.
You got it.
Harley and Anthony, I see you guys on my personal feed. The link to the business page where you can like put comments in, and I can put them on the screen like I just did with Darlene's. Click on the pinned link, the Facebook link. That'll take you to the Best Damn Bookkeeping Facebook page. While you're there, give it a follow. Why not? But then when you comment, when you're on that page, then I can do cool stuff like this. And Van Green, who's watching over on the YouTube feed, Man, it's just a matter of time. We'll be doing some Canadian books here real soon, I think. We gotta help you guys. I'm gonna be in Canada. I fished like boundary waters, Minnesota, Canada, and have had a Canadian fishing license. But in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be in Canada. I guess 3 weeks for Reggie. That was Danny. Reggie's my 8-year-old. Danny's 10. We're just going to Regina, Canada. Her name is Regina, which they have a Regina, Canada, but they pronounce it Regina. And we just thought it was cool enough that we should go there so we can like take pictures in Regina with,
nice.
You know, like an 8-year-old would think that's cool.
Right.
Once she's 10, she ain't gonna think that's cool anymore.
100%.
Well, it's cool. Little family road trip. And Scotty was giving me a hard time. He said I actually can't tie knots, so that was what he learned. But I'm still a great guy. He said this first, so might sometimes knots are tough to tie. All right,
100%.
They can be tough.
My greatest fishing memory. So I love the bass fish. Now I haven't been on the lake in a while. Sold our bass boat here in Carolina, but years ago when I lived in Connecticut, friends of mine would go salmon fishing every year during the salmon season, during the salmon run. Now, like salmon fishing is a unique deal when it's on the salmon river coming up, going. You're not necessarily, they're typically not hitting bait very much.
Yeah.
Because they're going up to spawn.
Yeah, you're flossing them.
You're lifting them. You're trying to get through the mouth, and they feel it, they bite, right? Anyway, one of the most fun, surreal, amazing fishing times that I had was on the Salmon River in Pulaski, depending where you're from, upstate New York, early morning, steam coming off the water, not very many people, because a lot of times salmon season's shoulder to shoulder because people are putting stuff in the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Atlantic salmon, I assume?
Yeah.
Like that's
hooked
on the Atlantic side, right?
I hooked my first salmon, and it was on an open reel, heavy duty rod and reel, open face reel. When I tell you that thing took off and spun me a bird's nest, it went zzz, and that thing went.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow! Got it all untangled, redid it, lifted it, caught 2 or 3 more, and the fight is absolutely unbelievable. 30-pound salmon. It is just
in like 2 feet of water. So they're just
it's just
yeah.
It's chaos. It is chaos. So I actually grew up watching ESPN Saturday Morning with Tommy Sanders, Bill Dance. I wanted to be a professional bass fisherman.
All those bass guys had it
in junior high school. Like that's cool. Obviously, I went stick and ball, played a lot of stick and ball sports, but I love being on the water. I don't get a chance to get out in the woods or on the water a whole lot more here. I told my son this year, I'm like, I've got to get back in the woods. I've got to get back. We need
cleanses the soul.
Again, that is like cigar smoking. Like it's super quiet for me. I do a lot of thinking in the woods. And for me, I'm not a photographer. My next iteration might be camera hunting. Just being out there, just being out, enjoying, Mother Nature. But I love being on the water, man. I love being on the water, early morning, sun barely coming up.
You got the fog.
Dude, that's it, man. Yeah, I love it.
There's something about it. You and I were just a little too early though, because shortly after I got out of college, all of a sudden all these colleges had bass teams and they get like boats and they get sponsors.
My son fished for the University of South Carolina.
Yeah. How cool is that?
So,
or was that when I was in college?
So they were I got this massive bug that flew in the garage.
Got the J rolling around.
Dude, this thing looks like a bat. They were still a club. They were sponsored. Oh man, I can't remember the stick, but they had stick sponsors, fishing rods, reels, uniforms, and then I think after my son graduated, they ended up going full blown. The year after, the second or third year is there. The year after he left, they won the bass fishing collegiate World Series. Yeah. So you're right, man. And dude, they like high dollar, nice boats. Like you get a scholarship. They're not giving full rides to every fishing guy, but if you get $1,000 off and you're like, I'm on like the daggone Texas University,
or you're getting paid to go bass fishing.
Go fishing.
Come on now.
Like as a college quote unquote athlete, come on. Like what? That's just like dream stuff. So anyway.
Justin Noggle is checking in, and he already knew he effed up because he's on my personal feed. I'm looking at my phone. So Justin, his first was, man, I haven't seen Matt in forever. I miss seeing you, man. Then he said, wrong spot. I know. Ha ha ha. So he already knows he's screwing up. He's in my personal feed. Justin, you got to get over to the business feed so we can throw your comments up. But man, I didn't get to, amateurly, professionally bass fish when I was in college, but we did have an archery range on our campus, and my buddy Steve and I ran the Rod and Gun Club. Like I was the president, he was the vice president, and so we would do fishing tournaments, we would do hunting tournaments. We started a fishing team, and the award went like we had the Manly Cup. It was a quarter barrel keg, deer antlers on the side, turkey fan on the back, and a fish mount in the middle. And it was a traveling. It stayed in the Rod and Gun Club, but if you won a tournament, you got to hoist the Manly Cup.
Yeah, I love it.
And we had our team name was the Moreshasters. Started as the Shore Masters, but then after a couple beers and thinking we were funny, we changed it to the Moreshasters, and that stuck. Everybody seemed to dig that. But at one point, we had a gold medal Olympian come and do like archery instruction training. So we're all like certified by Matthews archery instructor. Wow. So we didn't get to tournament bass fish, but we did get gold medal certified in archery. That was pretty sweet.
The first deer I took with a bow, it's small rack on the wall here. He came through, and I drew back, and I grew up shooting recurve.
Oh damn, the OG.
Right? The OG, right? So this is a compound bow. I didn't look through my peep sight. It just went to kind of
just all went back to feel.
It just went back to feel, and I shot literally right between his legs. I was like, crap. So that mug just kind of came just about 5 minutes later, just kind of walked back around. I'm like, okay, I know what I did. I re-knocked, nailed him, drug him out. But I was like, okay. Now, I haven't done a lot of hunting.
He just felt bad. He was like, that was.
He's like, I got to give myself up. I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. That didn't go.
So, but yeah, it's again, like I said, I need to get back in the woods. It's cathartic. Got to make time to do that. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because again, I look at the reports that you send to the folks that I work with, that I referred, or they found you on their own. You do a great job of the reporting, hitting their COGS, their benchmarks for their industry, etc. You've got hundreds and hundreds of clients now. What are you seeing within all of the industries that you work with? What trends are you seeing? Are you seeing an uptick? And again, I know like there are certain geographical areas across the nation that are just booming because people are moving there, it's growth. But what are you seeing across the industry, the home service industry as a whole, with the data that you're seeing?
The biggest thing is a lack of consistency, which makes it hard to answer that question, because one guy will be like struggling really hard for a month, and it's like everybody in his market waited, and the next month, which historically isn't a busy month, is off the charts.
I've seen that.
It's regionally. This is my macro level view of it, is like it's regionally, economically, and politically influenced, like how people are reacting to economic news and consumers, whether the area is more liberal or more conservative or whatever it is, however you want to call it.
Right.
Their confidence it always comes down to confidence, right? Holly Moore, who runs arguably the biggest maid service in the country, she's got a couple locations down in Texas. One's in Austin and one's in Houston. And I was talking to her about this, I don't know, a year ago. I think it was on the podcast actually. And she was like, man, the minute Trump got voted in, Houston sales were off the charts. Everybody was bullish. Everybody's like, hell yeah.
Austin went. Austin's more.
Austin sucked.
More liberal.
Like,
yeah.
We just can't sell shit in Austin. Everybody's thinks the world's going to come to an end.
Right.
And so it's always a perception thing. And so different, like, maybe it's just whatever the fucking local news is talking about, right? It's like it's the perception of what's going on in that local economy. If we got riots in Minneapolis because something stupid happened,
right,
our market is going to get shifted forward or backward. And it just seems like there's more of that. Like everybody's more sensitive, and there's more. And I think this is the ugly part. There's just more freaking titles, right? There's more like copy and scare tactic, like the world's gonna end type of social media bullshit going on, like more than ever. And so it just scares people into not spending and not wanting to take an action. And so home service business owners definitely are feeling that. But the one thing that I've seen is it's coming back quick. Like I've seen housing even come back pretty quick. They're just not going to hide forever. And I think there's a little boy who cried wolf going on right now, which is like, it's always something. And I say this about employees. I fire employees. They can have the best excuses in the world, but if it's always something, it's always something.
Right.
And if you have a bad string of luck, I hate to be the fourth thing that happens to you. The third thing that happens to you is me firing you. But if it's always something, it's always something.
Right.
Sorry. And it does feel like that with politics right now. Is like, it's always something, but everything's fine. And so it's like, I feel like we always keep overreacting and overreacting and overreacting. And now everybody's kind of numb to it. And so like, then it seems to balance out. Once the numbing happens, everybody's like, whatever, I'm just going to go on and do what I'm doing. I'm sick of like these headlines and all the bullshit. So let's just run our business or hire the service that we're going to hire, whatever it is.
Right. Again, it's really what's your personal algorithm.
Yeah.
And that drives. And that's some of the things I've been talking to the pros that I work with is like, again, people's bandwidth, right, is shrunk right now. Again, prices are high, gas is high. There's a lot of things that are, going on, and they're distracted. Folks are distracted, and stay the course. And the other thing too, we are coming out of 24 into 25, because when I look at the accountability sheets, like the dashboards that I work with all my pros with, I keep their 24, 25 and current revenue right in front of me. So I can see month over month, like July of 24, July of 25, and where we are July 26. Mm-hmm. Now, July 24, we were basically still post-COVID hangover.
Yeah. We were kind of after that rush. We had like a post-COVID rush, and then we had the lull of like, oh, all the demand just happened over like the last 2-3 years.
It got compressed into 2 or 3 years because I'm staying home. I want this clean. I want this shed built. I want my driveway. I want this pool. And again, people went into debt for that.
Yeah. I got this government money too, though.
I got
this EIDL loan in my business that I don't need, but I'm going to take $400,000 and regret the hell out of that.
Right, because that's a 30-year payoff, right? At about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Right,
it's a shitty mortgage. It's a shitty mortgage.
It is. So, and that's what I tell my folks, because I try to check in with all. Like I have folks from West Coast, Central, South, North, East Coast, and I always check in with them. Like again, because I'm seeing their numbers every week, and they're like, "Hey, what's other people doing? What's other people doing?" I'm like, "Listen, it is in pockets." Stay the course. And the conversation that I've been having and I had this week is, how could we be different in the marketplace? Mm-hmm. I've got guys that are like, I'm overly saturated. There's 35 pressure washers in this space. Okay, right? That's fine. Anyone can be a pressure washer. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, $250 for electric pressure washer. Call yourself, hey, I'm a pro, right? But the guys that spend tens of thousands in training, right, that's who you're competing against. But I think it comes down to, hey, knowing your numbers, understanding, how I can be different, And like I said earlier, like, what kind of client experience can I give people? We're going to always have people that will always decide on price. And if that's the clientele you want to serve, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're always going to be, competing on price.
Yep.
Then there are folks like they're going to be looking for value and price. Like, what do you bring in? Okay. Then there are folks like, listen, man, you make it easy. And I preach this mantra, and I will to the day I die. I want to be easy to do business with.
Yep.
So how do I create an experience where people just basically like, listen, you might be $50 higher, you might be $100 higher, but I trust you. You returned my phone call. You showed up on time. It's well worth it for me to do that. Those are the clients that we want to keep and we want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm just interested in all the data that you look at, because I look at, a smaller cross section of that.
Yeah.
And people, again, different industries are surging, different industries, depending on the month.
Yep.
And they're like, what am I doing with my marketing? What am I doing with this? I'm like, I don't know that there's anything markedly that you're going to change in a month that's going to flip the script as quickly as you think it could flip it right now.
Yeah.
It's a patience game.
It is. And I always stress a couple things, which is don't overweight monthly data. Like, it's a gut check to make sure what you expected is what the data says.
Right.
You're not going to change anything. Like, I get we want to like know what happened last week, and there's different benchmarks and metrics and bonuses we pay. But strategic decisions shouldn't be made on 20 business days worth of data. It's
right.
Statistically insignificant. So like on our dashboard that we send, I always tell people that, like, here's your monthly data. Neato. Here's your 90-day. Here's your trailing 3 months.
Right.
That's meaningful. Like, what's that telling us? Those same 3 months a year ago, like, now we got something to talk about.
Right.
But the biggest thing I found is, who cares what somebody in a different market is doing? Like, the marketing they use is different. The recruiting that they do is different. The pricing that they have is different. The economics and the politics of that market are different. Like, the business still works on the same thing, which is just trust and loyalty and hard work. People need your shit. So, like, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Like, pay attention to the market, but don't worry about the market. Like, run your damn business and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Just like, get your data. Your data tells you more than any idiot will ever tell you on Facebook, myself included.
Right. 100%.
Like, trust your data. Your data tells you what's going on. If you serve the right clients and you do a damn good job, your clients become your best salespeople, and just build it.
100%.
Build it. Hire the best employees, serve well, the business will grow.
I asked this question, like, what's one thing that you can do to level up your customer experience?
Recruiting.
Well, yeah, people first, right? Like, we're in the people business. It's all about people. But once we train those people, how do they show up to my door? Like, if I'm an HVAC guy, does every person that comes in my house put the booties on? Is their shirt tucked in?
The guy that came here today did.
Right.
He was all over it.
There are folks that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what I encourage my folks that I work with. Like, what can you level up in your business without a ton of money to create a great client experience? Because now they're going to say it was so easy to do business with them. Quick story, and then we'll shut it down. Whatever you got going on. My son just got married, so I have new. They're my son and they're my son's father and mother-in-law, so they're like whatever they are to me, right? What does that make them? Like friends of the family? I don't know.
Second cousins. I think that's how second cousins work.
Right. So we go out to dinner and we're talking, and they just bought a new Tesla. Love them, hate them. Like, I'm not even going down that path. Here's the big takeaway. We're like, how do you love the car? We rode with them. Like, it's cool. It's got all these bells and whistles, blah, blah, blah. They're like, Matt, it was the absolute easiest car buying experience we've ever done. We did it laying in bed one night at 10 o'clock with an iPad, went through it and said, you know what, we need a new car. We're kind of digging the Tesla. One of our friends has a Tesla. We're going to give it a shot. They go in, click this color, this financing, you're approved. pick it up at the dealership in a week. They're like,
What?
they literally, that's what they said. They're like, honey, we just bought a car.
Yeah, I guess we wanted that one.
So how do we make it that easy per se, where it's just like seamless? And I have a few good contractors in this area that just, they give you the Chick-fil-A, the Apple Store, that Ruth Chris, that high-end steakhouse, that high-end Four Seasons experience.
Yeah.
And those are the clients that we want to work with, not the one that's trying to cram all the ketchup packets in their purse so they have ketchup in their fridge.
We fired a client recently. She was like on the verge of firing us, and then we were just like, no, like we're just gonna fire you before, like we all know this isn't a good fit. And I knew it wasn't a good fit right away. It was a sales problem, attrition. And I'll brag about this. I don't give a shit about what our revenue is or like growth rates or anything like that. Our attrition rate for a recurring service business is 1.7% lifetime, and that includes all the clients we fired. And so I feel pretty damn good about that because like
that's freaking awesome.
3% is like world class, and we're at 1.7, and I'd say not half, but I mean obviously some go out of business, some move, whatever they do.
So you have a 98% retention rate. That's a better number.
We do.
That's people, amazing.
I tell our team we don't fucking lose clients, but sometimes we got to lose clients, right? Like sometimes you need to, but we need to do such a damn good job that there's no reason anybody would ever leave.
Right.
And we've definitely lost some and gotten them back because they go like, oh, my CPA offered me this deal because they want to do my books, right? And then to them, they're still thinking bookkeeping is just bookkeeping. And then the minute they leave, they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot why I hired you guys because I hear from you every week and you send me a report with the damn video at the end of the month. These guys I don't hear from for months and months and months, and I ask them a question and it just goes in a black hole. But we had this gal that we had two businesses with her. She was a larger revenue client of ours, but she just had one of those bad behaviors where it was like we would message her. We did our weekly follow-up process and weekly questions. And there was stuff she had to do because she had her CRM synced up, and that creates some extra work in the QuickBooks. And so we always kind of give clients the option, like, do you want to do that part or would you rather pay us to do it? She chose to do it. So we're like, all right, you got it. And then she's like, my books are, we haven't heard from her for 3 months. We've been messaging her weekly saying, hey, you got to catch these up and we need answers on these things. And then she messages us out of the blue and is like pointing a finger at us. And I just went back to my sales process with her. I did the demo and she tried to negotiate my pricing with me. And I was like, lady, I'm a finance dude. If I changed my pricing for you, wouldn't you automatically not hire me because I clearly don't know what I'm doing? Like, you're hiring me to be your CFO. And now you're trying to negotiate price. Maybe this is a test to make sure I actually know my shit. But of all the people in the world, wouldn't you trust that I know exactly how much to charge you and that I have that figured out? And you're going to sit here and try to like negotiate pricing with me? Like, don't use me. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. Why would you do you want me to do a worse job for you? What the hell are you talking about? And then, I mean, and there were multiple times where she would make a big deal out of nothing. And it was just like, this lady's kind of crazy. And again, eventually she was like finger pointing at us for stuff that she was supposed to be doing, but somehow it was our fault. And so it was like, yeah, I think this was a sales problem. I think Dan, the salesperson, made a bad judgment call on this one. The writing was on the wall right away. But,
so the big takeaway, it's funny you say that. I had this conversation within the last 2 weeks. Might have been this week. Don't violate your gut. We all know it.
Yeah.
Like your gut tells you don't do it without getting too deep in it. They say the gut is your second brain, same cells. Like there's a lot of correlation. Like, oh, I have a gut feeling, right? If you have that gut feeling, it is 90. I'll go to your retention rate. It's probably 98%.
98% true. Yeah.
Correct. And you got to go with your gut. Like, don't sign the contract. Like, it's okay for you to go up to a quote and acceptance, or even take an accepted quote and say, you know what? Listen, we're just not a good fit. And we don't make it personal. Like, we are just not a good fit. Wish you the best of luck. Here's a couple other folks in the industry. You may want to give them a call. Appreciate you. Thanks. Now, you may get a 1-star review, but again, you go to the 1-star review and say, listen, We gave this person an option. It just wasn't a good fit for us. We like folks, right? This is how we say it. We appreciate folks who like quality, integrity, good communication, and stand behind their work. That's who we like to work with. What did I just tell you about this person?
Exactly. Everything.
That they're not that.
Everything.
But I didn't do it like directly. So that's like the little.
I love a 1-star review. Like everybody knows who the crazy person is. 1-star reviews are the best. Like it gives you a chance to reflect who you really are. It's the 3-star reviews that hurt. The 3 stars.
Like, bro, were we that bad? If we were that bad as a 3, like, what could we have done to get it to a 4 or 5? Or you again? Here's facts. There's always 4-star people.
Oh yeah, my buddy Duke. We crushed
I'll
it.
never give someone a 5-star because no one's
give you 8 out of 10 because that's as high as I would ever give. And I'm like, oh, my employees' days are ruined.
Right. Yeah, because you have a principle that no one gets a 10, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's always that guy.
That guy.
So what's next for you? What's the focus? Are you trying to grow coaching? Or are you keeping it where it's at? What's the plan for Fast Car Cigar? Where are you headed?
All right, so let me give you the 3 prongs here. I love working in the coaching space. I enjoy working with House Call Pro. I also have clients outside of House Call Pro. I don't market heavily to that out of respect for House Call Pro. I enjoy that. I've been there since Brandon started it, but I've also had coaching clients before I started working with Brandon.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm not willing to give that up, but I'm also not like heavy marketing that. So I love that space. I'm relaunching, like I said. I love, again, I enjoy speaking. I love being on stage, inspiring people. And what I learned in those 15 years in NASCAR, all the wins, all the championships, Dan, the biggest charge I got is when I saw people make it to victory lane that had never been there before.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't about me like popping the champagne, getting all the hats, getting the rings. That's cool. But when I saw people literally ecstatic, like yelling, screaming because they have worked and toiled so hard, I had some small part in either hiring them, coaching them, and getting them to victory lane. I had one of my guys go to the White House because the champion went to the White House. He's a football player out of Sanford in Alabama, not Stanford. Make it to the White House. He showed up in my at the race shop RCR. Never held a jack. Didn't know anything about jacking a car. Was a lineman, very athletic.
I remember talking about that the last time you're on the podcast, how you'd like hire athletes to do like stuff because they were just machines.
Yeah. And so, I ended up leaving the company. He changed teams. They won a championship. I see his photo with the president of the United States in the pit crew. Like, I'm like, dude, like, I love that. I got someone to the White House.
That's really bad.
So that's why I enjoy being on stage, inspiring people. And then Fast Car Cigar is a long play. It's a passion project. I have some vision for that to expand it because here's the deal. I can't physically scale this company to high dollar revenue because it's a custom shop, right? But the custom shop is the genesis of what could be a bigger brand.
Yeah.
Then I could go to production pieces where I can have 100, 500 pieces made. I could sell more to the masses. Right now, this is niche, but this is building the brand based in racing mentality, the racing mindset, the custom shop of what I do to build the Fast Car Cigar brand, get connected in that industry and grow that as well. So those are the 2 things.
Like, you got to have some connections in NASCAR still. Like, there's an opportunity to get intertwined into the network.
There is. And again, so this is what's unique about the NASCAR network, though, is it's a very closed, tight system. Like team to team. Again, I still have folks in the industry. I still stop by some shops and some guys that are in parts of it. Now, I've been out of it for a minute, so like I'm a has-been, so to speak, in the industry.
Yeah.
But I do have some connections, and really where I want to connect with is the folks that like fast cars, enjoy cigars, making that connection. I have folks that aren't smokers that just think the piece is cool and have bought the piece
Hell yeah.
because they're just race fans. They're car
Yeah.
people.
You get both. You get both sides.
Yeah, you don't have to smoke. I got another guy. He's a non-smoker, but he bought that tray with the piston because he's like, this is badass. I throw my coins in the tray. I throw some stuff in the piston head, and it's a cool piece.
Yeah.
So those are the three areas that I'm really focusing on. The three kind of prongs of my business to work on.
What stages you want to go speak on? You got any lined up, or you got any that you're shooting to get on?
So here's where I am. Speaking industry is like, what have you done for me lately? Event planners, have they referred you? I haven't been on stage in 2 years. I kind of stepped away for a couple of years. What I'm working on, the reason I focused on the speaking is it's a solid revenue stream. Speakers can be paid really good money. I'm getting the systems and processes built, the website redone, so I can put my VA to work to get me conversations with event planners. So I'll go in the aerospace, the shipping, the coal mining, the manufacturing space, events, organizations, reach out to them, cold outreach, send them my speaker one sheet, try to get a conversation of like, hey, here's who I am. Does my lineup of talks and experience align with the theme that you want to share this year? Nail those one-on-one conversations and hopefully get under contract. So it's a slower sales cycle.
Yeah. It's back to, it's like networking, relationship building,
100%.
right? Like you gotta go build the relationships. I find, so I have one talk, and I just gave this at OLP the last few days. I have one talk I call the Purgatories of Scaling.
Nice.
It's all about like the mathematical spots that are so predictable that we all get stuck, how to work our way through them. But it's like mine are always so mathematical, right? As a bookkeeper, I'm like trying to teach and inspire a little bit and entertain a lot. I always crack a beer when I get on stage, just because I think it's funny. And I've got some recruiting talks. I've got one on like using your marketing data to really grow your business and how that's done. I created one last year because when you get on so many stages, you're like, I need to come up with something new. I feel like everybody in the room has already heard me say all this shit, and they're all gonna be falling asleep and like my gimmick's up. And I had to really think about like how I really set goals when I restarted my business. Like what's really actually important? Because goal setting is so many platitudes. It's so much like revenue and profit that don't actually mean anything. And so like, what does success actually look like?
Right.
And so I like got an hour of content on that I'm like super passionate about and I love giving. But how do you approach that? Like when you're thinking of what that next presentation is going to be that you're going to give or what the next piece of content is, how often are you like refreshing it? How are you like intertwining stories? What are you most excited to go talk about or go teach on?
So this whole refinement and coming out of, again, this is coming from a Hall of Fame speaker running. She actually helped speakers build big speaking practices. I told you earlier, I'm creating it so it's outcome based. So what's in it for the event planner, decision maker? But if you want to speak nationally and you want to speak across many events, she likes to go inch wide, mile deep. So for me, I refined a lot of my stuff because it was kind of all over the place. And I've narrowed it down. I kind of rewrote, rebranded, repackaged. I stay in the lane of culture, right? I stay in the lane of resilience, because resilience, like a pit crew, is the epitome of building a highly resilient team, the ability to bounce back. Mm-hmm. So culture, resilience. I do performance, right? So again, what are the metrics around performance? Because it's kind of in my wheelhouse of what I do. 2 new talks that I added recently, because this is all tied to Fast Car Cigar. This line came from my CNC guy, and I built a talk around it. I was talking to him about some CNC pieces, and he next levels them, right? This guy, I don't have time to tell you the story how we got connected, but I'm talking to him. I'm like, talk to me, JR, and he's like, I like making jewelry for the eyes. I was like, okay. So then I got to thinking on that and built it out. It's really about the standards of craftsmanship. And he was telling me, like, people buy my stuff because we could both have the same widget. I just make mine
Mine
look
looks
nice.
tastier. Yeah.
Like anodized, then you do relief cuts on the anodized. So now the aluminum pops off an anodized piece. So there's one more step in manufacturing. So I took that principle and I wrote it in and I wrote it up. And it's about refining. It's about going back through the process. And then I distilled like what I live out and I've done for years is the personal pit stop protocol or the personal pit stop playbook. Basically what it is, I use it in my coaching practices. I've used it as a coach, 30 years stick and ball, 15 years on Nascar pit road. What I tell the folks that I work with, every person I work with, they all get my cell phone number. And I tell them this. All you have to do is if you're in a jam, being an entrepreneur is sometimes a lonely space. There's a mental drain on it. People may end up in a very dark place. I want you to know you're never alone. I don't ever want to get a call from a family member, friend, or colleague that you did something foolish to yourself, including taking your life.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my phone number. All you have to do is text me, Coach, need a cup of coffee. I don't need any other explanation. You don't have to explain. The next opening on my schedule, I will call or text you, and we'll take the 5, 10, 15 minutes to figure out what major catastrophe or something you're working through. It could be like someone fell off the roof. My lead tech, my GM just left. I'm freaking out. Like, okay, I got you. Let me finish up this call. And we have that call. And I've always been a shoulder to shoulder coach. In other words, you know, the football metaphor adage, like grab them by the face mask. And again, some personality styles love being rattled like that. That fires them up, right?
Yeah.
For me, when I'm talking to pros, I'm talking to even athletes, high performers, it's the shoulder to shoulder where we're kind of looking in the same direction. We're not necessarily having this deep eye contact, but we're having a deep conversation of what's happening, dude. What's going on? What happened in this? So those are 5 key talks, and those will be in my stable. That's what I'll market. That's what I'll market around. It's wide enough, but it's all coming out of the hub of culture.
Yep.
And so
which hits everywhere, no matter what, no matter who you're talking to, that hits everywhere.
Right. So, you know, I work with organizations that want to build resilient teams that can withstand pressure. That's what I did for 15 years. That's what I did winning championships. So it took me a while to come back to that because I would just write a talk about, you know, again, I have the driven champion, right? We have to have discipline, relentless. We need to be intentional, visionary, energized, and we have to have a never quit mentality, right? That's my motivational, you know, be a driven champion. That's what I named my company, etc. The problem is I could write a bunch of talks. I need to connect with event planners and decision makers, leaders in companies that are like, you're the guy for what we need right now. Yeah. I can't be everything to everybody because you can become diluted. Because think about it. If I want bookkeeping, I'm going to talk to Dan because Dan's the bookkeeper. I'm not going to talk to Bill, who does pressure washing, does this, does that, also does bookkeeping, does that. No, like, what's your specialty? And my specialty is resilience, culture, and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lane I'm staying in. That's what I'm good at. That's what I know.
Full speed.
That's for me.
Hell yeah. When you're like finding those event planners, how the hell do you go find them? Like, are you cold calling them? Or is there a list out there somewhere that you can like?
There's a list that typically doesn't work. So, and that's why I'm in this. The name of this mastermind is Book More Business. Lois Kramer, for any of you speakers, like, I love her. We've been in about a month and a half. What we'll do is through AI, through searches, you have to realize once you get into this world, there are thousands of associations, big and small. We just know like BOMA. We know a lot of the bigger associations, right?
Yeah.
But there's associate like there's one of my VAs 3 years ago, found got me connected with. This is where the disconnect was with my VA, little language, little cultural thing. He got a group of about 15 ladies who do quilting in the mountains of North Carolina to have a call. I'm like, that's not my ideal client. They're not gonna pay me 10 grand to come to speak to them.
No,
but it was an association.
Yeah.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll just start with the drip, try to get a conversation, send them my one page, which is a synopsis of my experience, my talks, who I am. Will that resonate? Let's book a call. I need to get on calls because if I can get you on a call, I can like, Dan, what's the real need in your business?
Yeah.
And be like, listen, man, we just are having a ton of turnover. Okay, great. Let's talk about that. Where do I fit into that? Here's what I've experienced. Here's one of my key talks, my keynotes that we can turn into a workshop, ongoing stuff. Here's how I can serve you. I only want to work with people that I'm a good fit with anyway.
Yeah.
Because then my chances of success, great reviews, and impact go through the roof rather than just saying, hey, I'm a good speaker, book me. No, man, my skill set fits your need. And there'll be times like you're not talking to me about AI. Although I'm not in the AI space, but I'm integrating AI and learning Claude and doing all the AI stuff. Like, I'm not your AI guy to talk about AI. I wouldn't even dare do that.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about building culture, high performance leaders, and performance. Like I'm your guy. I've been there. I've done that, and I say that respectfully. And it's a God thing that I ended up in that space. But that again, kind of long-winded answer to say, I'm staying in that lane. So that way you want to, hey, event planners are just like us. We're hanging out like, all right, hey, I got to talk next July, man.
Yeah. You know anybody?
You know anybody? Oh yeah, we had this dude, Matt Clark, a NASCAR guy. Like he crushed it on performance or resilience. If you're looking for that, man, he's your guy.
Yep.
So, and I'm getting this set up so I can put my VA to work. There's some AI software that I purchased on the monthly to do some of the hard work, the heavy lifting, create the pipeline, get the stuff out, kind of move them through the stages.
Yeah, man. It's exciting.
So, that's where we're at, man.
There's just something fun about being on stage. I was laughing yesterday. Every time I get up there, I try to make people do some stupid shit because it's amazing what people will do when you're in the front of the room and have the microphone. I got them to all do 5 jumping jacks and then hug somebody right next to them. And then I was like, maybe I was going to have them kiss each other on the cheek, but I didn't want to like push it too far.
Yeah, that might have been a big push.
But I've had quite a few waves I've done recently. I had one where the crowd was horizontal instead of deep. Like sometimes you get in a room where it's like a narrow room and really deep, but I had a really wide room in Vegas. And I was like, there's only one thing we can do because I'm about to bore you all to death talking about numbers. We got to start it off with a wave.
Right.
We did a down and back. But it's just fun being up there. Like you entertain, you get people off their feet. And the feedback's awesome. It's so fun. Like shocking people that, oh, you're not just going to get up and read some slides to me. You're going to entertain me and we're going to have some fun. Wow. Like didn't know that was possible.
Well, that's what was cool when I did live TV on Fox Sports. The red light goes on, man. It's game time.
Oh yeah.
So like either you show up or you don't. So it's not like, so I've done both. I've done canned TV where we would shoot segments, and if we could be halfway through a segment and someone mumbles and like, okay, bust, let's start it from the top again. Hey, da 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 da. When you're live, there's no bust.
Yeah,
it's live.
You got to roll.
That's an adrenaline thing. That's a fun thing, and that's what I enjoy doing. It's just like to your point. It's the adrenaline, and I enjoy that. And again, depending on your personality style, there's a lot of folks they haven't met a stage they don't love. And I just happen to be a high outgoing.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I've always been okay talking in front of people.
It's just too much. It's too much fun not to. It's too much fun not to.
Right. And they say that public speaking is the number one fear of most people.
I do find like my hands will shake a little bit. It's a nervous energy for sure, but it's like, where else can you get that? I feel like the same thing about bow hunting. You go from the calmest you've ever been to like when you release an arrow, your body is vibrating. And there's no drugs, there's no alcohol, there's no other influence besides adrenaline and just like internal vibes. And when you get up to speak, it's that. Like there's a rush of energy and you like learn how to control it. But my hand's always shaking a little bit out of not like a fear, just like maybe fear early on because you're not as confident. But once you've done it 1,000 times, it's like a little jitter out of excitement.
I think if you ever get to a point where you don't feel any of those nerves, you have to check yourself because either you don't care. Because I just did a presentation on Monday of 15 people. We did it. I talked disc to a group, and I knew most of them, like at a level. But the first 2 or 3 minutes, like I had to kind of channel that energy, that nervous energy, to get into flow. But once I got into flow, it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
So it's respecting the process. You know, it means something to you and it means something to someone else. So that's why you have a little bit of like, ooh, good nervous jitters.
It's hard to replicate. You can't get it many other places.
You can't get the rush. Now, people try to get the rush doing other things that are unhealthy for them one way or the other. Base jumping, like I'm not a big base jumper, right, at all. But folks do different things to get that adrenaline feeling. But what's funny is the post-talk come down. Like you're like, dude, I just spent myself. I've been jacked up. I've been in flow, and then it's over. And if you're not careful, it could be like not depression, but you're like, man.
Yeah. Now what? What do I do with myself? Like, you feel
100%.
lost. Yeah. It's like being an entrepreneur. You kind of feel lost. Like nobody understands what you're doing.
Right. 100%.
It's lonely. All right, Matt. Well, we can wrap it up, man. I appreciate you coming out. How does somebody, let's go through it here. Like if somebody needs coaching help, how do they find you for that? Okay.
The best way that you can do that is the website's rough right now, but anyone can drop me an email. This is an easy email to remember at mattclarkmc.com.
Entered. I dropped it. If you guys want to go check that out, it's in the Best Damn Bookkeeping Facebook page in the comments. It's also in the YouTube channel in the comments. Producer Jai Guy will go grab that and put it in the
Matt at mattclarkmc.com. Easy to remember. Always happy to serve. Again, website needs to be refreshed. We're working on that. But again, so here's a problem, and then we'll go. It's 4, 5, 6 years old. I look younger, right? I don't have a beard, so I don't want to be, and I'm not knocking them, but you've seen the realtor signs when you're like, wow, that's a really handsome dude, or that's a really beautiful woman. Like they're looking glamour shots.
Speaking of beautiful women, my wife just tuned in. I got to be careful what I say.
Nice. But then you meet him in person and you're like, that picture was taken 25 years ago. You're not the same person. Like you're kind of catfishing me. And I just didn't want to be that. Like I show up to an event or a call and they're like, bro, I thought you were like 35. I'm like, no, I'm not 35 anymore.
Well, I was once.
So anyway, love to work with people. Dan, thanks for having me on anytime, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for all the value.
I'm not done with you yet.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Where do we go get some fast car cigar type of stuff?
So here, like you can actually, the best place if you want to reach me through the website is it's fastcarcigar.com.
That's easy.
Fastcarcigar.com. Great website built on a Shopify platform. Kind of see what the vibe is about. Got a few more products to add, but it gives you a taste of like, that's the fun passion side of what I'm doing. you're a cigar smoker, man, I'd love to just connect with you. Like, it's always fun, it's always fun on a call too. I'll mention it, and someone will be like, hey, I smoke cigars. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Hey,
So we may take 2 or 3 minutes of the first call, be like, hey,
check
what are you
us out.
smoking this week? What'd you do? So anyway.
I dig it. Do you have a speaking website? If somebody checks this out and is looking for a speaker, do you have any?
I would hate anyone to go to my current website, but it is mattclarkmc.com. And so
Okay, that's cool. That's it.
It's just, it tells about who I am. It gives my credentials. It gives some of my talks. It's in total rebuild. So that's why, like, the marketing part, like, I got to get this thing launched so I can get my VA. Like, hey, check this guy out and get some conversations.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck, man. If I come across anything, I'll be throwing your name in the ring if it's something.
Listen, bro. When people are talking about bookkeeping, like, hey, if you're looking for a bookkeeper, Best Damn Bookkeeping, Dan Plata, straight up dude, shoot you straight. At least talk to him.
I don't know if this is good or bad, but I'm just a really bad liar is all it is. That's really what it comes down to. I found that out. I was always a kid like screwing around because I always screw around. I couldn't help myself. When I was in elementary school, every year, report card, class clown. But right. I was always the dude that got caught. And I learned I can't lie. I can't like goof around without getting caught. I just got to own it. So I think that's where the integrity comes from. I've just learned I'm not good at anything else.
Well, listen, I wouldn't refer you if my clients came on that I work with and were pissed.
It's a good point.
I love you.
Good point.
You're a good dude, but if they were like, this is effed up, like I can't get a hold of them, no one returns my stuff, like I don't get reports, I don't like, I'd be like, I love you, Dan, but like I can't risk my reputation because you won't take care of my people. Yeah. The reason I send people to you is because I know you will take care of the people I send. Now, it's up to you to close them.
Got to do that.
But I give them a good referral, no strings attached. You handle it with Dan. If there's ever a problem, I don't think I've had one person, but if there ever was, I would make a phone call on behalf of my client and be like, hey, listen, Dan, you got a lot, you got people working for you. Can you please double check on this to make sure like I'm not missing something? But I don't get in your business.
But if you did find something like that, I'd always appreciate if you told me because we got to make sure we're doing a damn good job,
100%. I would do that because I've risked my reputation. I want you to maintain your reputation. I know you'll fix it, and then you get more clients. And that's where, like, we're going to land the plane on this. Like, I asked my folks, like, how many of you heard your customer say, oh, someone picked up the phone. Hey, oh, yeah, hey, can you come and do X? There are so many contractors, and I know it's hard, where people aren't getting back to them for a day, 2 days.
Oh, forever.
And they're like, like just answering the phone, you're ahead of the game. So anyway, appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate the folks that, kind of are part of this tribe with you. I don't know if we can say that anymore. Is that even politically correct?
I don't know.
I don't give a crap. Like,
easier to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to be that way. I'm part Indian, so please don't like just stop it. But your group, right? Best wishes, man. I'm always here. And again, I appreciate what you do for the folks that I work with. I mean, it makes my job easier as a coach because they bring their monthly P&L, the benchmarks, the reporting, and you meet with them. You're their second set of eyes. I'm like, well, what did Dan say about this?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on this. So anyway, I appreciate that a bunch.
Hell yeah. It's my favorite thing to do.
There we go.
It's the best.
All right, gang.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Business nerds, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. I got to be in Mexico catching big fish and drinking Tecate Lights next week. So we'll catch you guys back in a couple weeks.
Enjoy it. Be safe, Dan. Always a pleasure.
Hell yeah, Matt. See you guys.
Take care.